So welcome everyone to Digital Transformation for Enhanced Customer Experience. I'm Stephanie, Tim, we've been introduced. So we'll not take too much extra time giving our background, but I'll let Tim give you a little bit more about him and then I'll...
Thank you and welcome again. My name's Tim Currie. I've been in the business 38 years. Various roles, both on the broker and company side, and seen tremendous amount of transformation in the last few years, specifically the last 5 years with the full embracement of technology, and I'll leave it at that.
And I have over 20 years experience in marketing, starting with content and copywriting, moving to creative direction and strategy, and today concentrate on digital strategy for all sorts of different business-to-business and business-to-consumer companies through Goose Digital. So who is Goose Digital? Just a little bit of background on us, because you may not be familiar with us. We're experts in marketing automation and digital marketing services. We really help organizations, our clients, get more out of their technology investments, whatever those investments may be. We have offices in Toronto, Edmonton, and Vancouver, and we have deep roots in e-commerce and helping established retailers transition to omni-channel experiences for their customers. And we also have significant experience in the insurance industry. So we're here to talk about digital transformation, and it's a big buzzword, but what does it really mean? To us, it's about taking an all-encompassing approach to using technology to enhance your operations, your messaging, and every way that you interact with your customers and with your colleagues. Tim, what is digital transformation to you?
So I represent a brokerage that has been doing personal lines for about 60 years. This was a transformation that was necessary because we were seeing the way that we communicated with customers change, and it was important for us to make that shift from an analog world where everything was done on paper and in a very structured format, and begin to implement digital applications both in marketing and in how we process paper. It was a tricky thing for us, and it's trickier for us because a lot of brokerages that have embraced technology have are startups or smaller, but we're a fairly significant size. So we had to deal with a lot of transformation issues that a new startup or a smaller brokerage wouldn't have to deal with. So again, we were responding to customers and clients and the way that they shopped, and we wanted to be part of the new experience.
So it's important when we're talking about digital transformation to understand that it's not a silver bullet. It's not any one thing or any one piece of technology. You know, it's not artificial intelligence, it's not a chat bot, it's not a new website, it's all-encompassing. It's your back-end systems, it's your marketing systems, it's your processing systems. It has to be all of that. So yes, you may involve AI or a chatbot or a new website in your digital transformation, but it can't be just one of those things. So digital transformation starts with a vision. And at our very first meeting with Navigators, this is the vision that we were presented with. So Tim, do you want to talk a little bit about how you came up with this?
Very sophisticated. Really what drove this was there was a need for us to change, and we really wanted to change. In the last few years, we began to see our market partners pick brokers that they felt were positioned digitally to move forward, and we wanted to be part of that conversation. And we mapped out a new way of doing business. We really put everything on the table and were willing to look at how we did business, how we delivered the product. And this is sort of a roadmap, a very crude roadmap of how we sort of figured we would make the process transformation and how we dealt with customers. Our strategy, we started this a little over a year ago. We had been involved in digital marketing for about 5 years, but we did very broad-based marketing in the sense that we just blasted mostly pay-per-click words out there that focused on inexpensive and cheap. And we were finding that we were getting customers that A, didn't stick with us, and B, were high maintenance, and most importantly, that the customers that we were getting weren't necessarily aligned with the markets that we were trying to support and write business with. So what we decided to do was sort of consider how or look at our original marketing plan and how we wanted to transform. And really what we wanted to do is align our marketing messaging, our digital marketing messaging, with the type of customers that we felt would stay with us the longest and they would be easiest to place with markets. So this little diagram really shows how we takes it from how we would attract customers, how we would filter the information, and how we would process that information as quickly and as easily as possible. So really, like I said, there was 3 things that we wanted to do, which was speak to the customer differently, speak to our clients differently. We wanted to align our marketing with the customers that we felt were the best long-term customers and that we would be easiest for us to place with the markets that we were working with. And we wanted to make it easy we wanted to simplify the customer experience.
So this is the transformation timeline. You can see it started just about a year ago. And as of next quarter, we are going to be well on our way to some really exciting things, including what we think is one of Canada's first integrations between Applied Systems Epic, broker management system, and a marketing automation system. Tim, why did we have to do all of these things?
Well, there's a number of things that we wanted to accomplish. First thing that we wanted to come out of this was we wanted a really great website. We had a website that was pretty traditional if you looked at insurance brokers' websites, which was mostly an information dump. We wanted to come up with something that was really sales focused. And once we had established a new website, which we did, we wanted to introduce targeted marketing campaigns, campaigns that, like I said earlier, were aligned with the type of customer that we wanted, were very specific. We wanted to be able to track the information. Part of what we did before, we were never really sure specifically what the impact of our investment was, and we wanted, through Act On and the tracking component that it provides, to be able to really validate any investment that we made. We wanted to have really tailored communication. Again, we wanted to take the information that we had picked up through our campaigns and be able to speak to the customers, whether they purchased insurance from us or they didn't purchase, as we wanted to keep them in the loop. And the final and most important part of this is that we wanted to be able to validate the investment, validate the marketing investments that we made up front to ensure that we knew what our cost per marketing campaign was, and then again allow us to use that information to seek out additional investors.
So one of the first things we had to do, we knew where we wanted to get to, right? Remember that diagram? We had to figure out where we were. So a lot of what we did initially was just establishing a baseline of where we were on the journey. So we did an in-depth competitive analysis. We looked at how Navigators was handling lead flow at that time, a year ago. We looked at all the technology that was in play and what gaps we would need to fill. We looked at what content we had and how could we leverage it for the marketing campaigns. We looked at the search engine optimization and the pay-per-click campaigns. How were they performing? And then we also took a look at the branding. There's a recent combination of some different brands, and we wanted to modernize the Navigators look and feel a little bit. So a big part of the exercise was developing personas. Tim's talked about the ideal customer, the ones that are going to stick around, the ones that are easy to place. So Tim, do you want to talk a little bit about what we did to develop these personas?
Okay, so what we really did, we knew and we had a rough idea of who we wanted to attract and speak to. Excuse me. But we went to our 2 of our key markets and we asked them to demographically define who they felt their top 3 client or site segments would be. And surprisingly, what came back were very similar definitions of who both these markets wanted to attract. And from there, we took that information, we took 3 from each of them, so we had 6 demographics or site clusters that we wanted to go after. And then from there, we developed the personas, and then we interacted with Environics, and we took the information about the personas, and then we filtered it through the Environics information, which gave us even more detailed, I think about 20 or 25 different categories of lifestyle, from where they shop, where they eat, where they work out, things like that. So again, we really gathered a lot of information up front on who these people were, what they did, and how we would speak to them. And then from that, we developed, I think, three personas per group.
3 persona stories per group, so
which were varied
18.
and different, yeah, which were very detailed and in depth. And again, from those, we've built our marketing campaigns around those personas based on all the information that we gathered from Environics and the insurance companies.
Yeah. And it was quite fun to do. I'm a bit of a geek that
Yeah.
way. And so out of those personas, we developed our new messaging. We wanted to be friendly. We wanted to be simple, but not talking down. We discovered our personas were educated, but busy, really busy people. So that was our opportunity, our open window to say, you don't have to worry so much about your insurance. We're going to navigate it for you, essentially, playing off our own name. And from there, this is our new website, by the way, just launched. Then we took what we knew from our content audit. We took our lifestyle information from our personas. We took our new messaging platforms, and we created a content calendar. So it's a 12-month calendar. We know exactly what we're going to be talking about every month. Some of it is seasonal, such as obviously winter tires. We start reminding people in the fall. But other things are like how to open your cottage properly, right? Things that meet the lifestyles of the personas. We also discovered that video was one of the key tools we could use to deliver our messaging. And during our competitive analysis, we realized no brokers were really doing anything with video. But think of the way you cruise the web. Are you going to read a white paper or watch a 3-minute video on the same subject? You're going to watch a short video. So we started putting together a whole bunch of videos. They're scattered around the site. And they are all starring Navigator's own people. They're not actors. So go to the website and check it out.
If I could just, one of the things that we did, there are some video, some brokers that do have a video, but again, they're mostly information videos about what they do or what they don't do and how long they've been in business. We're really trying to establish ourselves as a leader in terms of being both educational and entertaining. There's not too many people up there talking about insurance in a traditional format. We've really tried to introduce things, lifestyle things that hopefully will speak differently about topics that, as we all know, sometimes can be a little dry and come at them from a different perspective. And we did 4 tests, and we have about another 20 that are teed up to be done. So we want to at least introduce a couple new videos every month. And some of them are on insurance, but some of them are about insurance, but not directly associated with it.
Yeah. For example, one of the ones is on how to build a winter car kit. So if you get stopped on the side of the road in a snowstorm, you've got everything you need in your car. So we launched the new website in December of last year. It is designed entirely to make it really easy for clients to talk to navigators. Right down to they can choose when they're requesting a quote, they can choose whether they would prefer to be contacted by phone or email. And down the road, that's also going to include live chat and text messages. And it's integrated with the phone system so that our marketing automation platform can queue up with the phone system and send leads to the next rep. So Tim, do you want to talk a little bit about the vision for the website?
Sorry, the website or
the website, yeah. Why did we do all of this?
Well, really, we did this to allow us to be more streamlined. We want a process, not just a website, but we were at a phase where we were able to look at our BMS system, our broker management system, how we process data. We were able to, we also, so we got a new BMS system, we got a new phone system, and we got Acton. So we've got three pieces of the puzzle that are new to us that allow us from a digital perspective to take a step from a very old school to pretty much allow us to go from connecting on a marketing campaign to presenting a quote to a client, the whole process with no touch or limited touch, only if the customer wants to do that. So we were we were in a good position because of some of the changes that our organization was going through to try to integrate all these things and build something that is fully comprehensive and fully interactive the whole way through.
So we've mentioned marketing automation and in particular Act-On a few times. So we're going to talk a little bit about what that is. So marketing automation is essentially a wrapper that goes around your website. And it gives you a 360-degree view of your prospects and your customers. It powers all the forms, and it houses the database of all the website leads, and it allows us to assign things like a behavior score for customers that take specific actions. So if they watch a video, they might get 5 points. If they download a brochure, they might get 10 points. If they open one of the emails that we send them, they might get 20 points. And this just tells us who's engaged, who's interested, who's getting warmed up to buy. It also powers our email marketing campaigns, whether that's a one-off send to a happy holidays email to all the clients, or what we call automated drip campaigns. So someone comes in on our landing page about auto insurance and they fill in a form, we can automatically, without having to think about it, send them a series of emails about auto insurance to warm them up till they're ready to buy. It also provides us with a ton of performance metrics for reporting and insights, so we can figure out what content is working, who's most engaged, what emails are working, what time of day to send emails to people to get a higher open rate, and so on. So we mentioned a little bit, so we have this marketing automation platform, and we've got this new phone system. Right now, they're married, and they talk together quite a lot. So every time someone fills in a form on the website, it pings the phone system. And the phone system queues it and sends it out to one of Tim's great reps, whoever's next available. And they then deal, whether through email or phone, with the customer inquiry. Tim, how has this helped improve your internal processes?
Well, the big thing that it's done is reduced our response time significantly. Before we had quite a manual response process where it had to be updated manually and tracked and so on and so forth. This has really reduced our response time from probably half an hour to minutes. Like we're around 1 or 2 minute response. And the other interesting thing that it's done is because of the way that it's on your desktop, and we have TVs around the office that show leads as they come in, our sales staff has really keyed in on responding to when the leads come in. So as soon as the leads come in, somebody's all over them right away. It's been our biggest and most positive response to this new technology.
And so what's coming up next is we're going to marry another system into it. Yes, they're polygamous. We're going to be bringing in Applied Epic BMS, and we are going to integrate that so we have multi-way communication. So how this is going to work, people are going to come to the website and fill in a form through Act-On. That's going to push up to the ShoreTel phone system, just like it's doing now. The next step is when the rep gets that request and they issue the quote and they put it into Epic, Epic is then going to take that information and push it back up to Act-On. Now, it will stay in the field for that individual contact. So Sally comes to the site, or phones, or texts, or emails us, however she contacts us. It goes through ShoreTel. The rep services the request, issues the quote. Sally buys. Epic is then going to push that information back to Act-On, and Act-On will be able to tell us, Sally came in from this pay-per-click campaign. She responded, she filled in this landing page, she responded to these emails, and she just is worth this much money. So we're actually going to have direct closed-loop reporting between what we're spending on our marketing campaigns and the revenue that each campaign is generating. That's kind of the holy grail, isn't it?
Yep. Obviously, this will, and I think it's addressed on the next slide as well too. In days gone past, if you've been involved in marketing, we used to do all sorts of different campaigns between mail drops and signs throughout the city or bus stops or whatever, and we never were able to really validate how much revenue was attributed to each of those. And in this, when we focus entirely on this way of advertising now. And again, what we want to be able to do is find out what's working, do more of it, what's not working, and stop doing it, and make those adjustments real quick and real fast. So we fully utilize the very fully utilize our marketing dollars.
So it's been a year-long journey so far, a little more than a year, that we've been working together, and the planning happened before we came on the scene. What kind of lessons have you learned, Tim?
Well, I jotted down 4 or 5 things that were pretty interesting in our journey, and one is there's really no playbook for this integration. There's a number of brokers out there that are doing a great job at this, but not a whole lot of people that are well down the path, so you can phone them up and say, if you did this or did that, what was your outcome and how did it play out? There just aren't a lot of other brokers, a handful of brokers that are really doing a great job in this area. The other thing that was really interesting was the wide variety of responses. When we started this program, we went to all of our markets. We represent pretty much every major market in Canada. And we asked them if they would be interested in partnering, investing with us. And for the most part, it was surprising how many of the markets said no or not really. There's only a handful of markets in the personal lines that have key digital strategies that are really pushing this. Some are really far down the road and do an excellent job at this. We saw this as an opportunity for us to partner with a market that we could become their digital strategy and work closely with, and we've been very successful working with the 2 markets that we work closely with this on and have been great partners are Aviva and RSA. The other thing that we realized is that we didn't know what we didn't know, which was an awful lot. We're brokers, we're not tech people. We have a history of making assumptions about what people want and how they want to do business, so it was very imperative for us to get, as I said, both market help and support, but also our relationship with Goose has been amazing in terms of their insight, their ability to move this along quickly. We don't want to be doing this for a long period of time, so any insight and support that you can get to help move this forward at a pace that will keep you relevant is helpful. And again, it's been a great partnership. And again, I would recommend to anybody to make sure that they get outside support. The other thing that we've learned, and it's a key thing, is that the marketplace is being divided, I believe, into 2 groups: those that are digitally committed and those that aren't. And there's a lot of conversation about how this is going to look in the next few years, and I fundamentally believe, obviously, that as a broker, you have to respond to the way people are buying, how they're shopping, where they're doing their research, and make sure you're a part of that discussion. We talk about this all the time. As a broker, we need to remain relevant. Our competition, and there's many people in this room that are great competitors, and if we don't do everything we can as a broker supply chain, our days and our opportunities will be limited. I think that's I guess the last thing is this is a significant investment of time and both financially, or significant investment both financially and time. And again, we really have to be all in on this.
I think it's important too that part of the impetus behind this need for digital transformation is the same impetus that is behind the transformation from brick and mortar stores to e-commerce. Right? You're looking at some of these retail giants that are actually dying because they didn't keep up with the digital transformation in their industry and the ways in which consumers want to go buy things, right? They want to shop in their PJs in bed at 2 a.m. They're gonna. And if your store is not open and your website experience is crap, they're gonna go someplace else.